Welcome to today's complimentary mini-session of the Inzaba Leadership Development e-Training Program. We deliver our programs online by using a combination of streaming video, downloadable audio, manuals, exercises, and white papers. This delivery format ensures that your people will learn the material in the mode they prefer and at the times they choose, whether at their desk, at home during quiet time, while exercising, or when they are traveling. We call this My Way, My Place, My Pace. Employees love the flexibility and organizations love the benefits. Think about what this flexible online format means to your bottom line. No longer do you need to rent meeting rooms, pay for travel, or have your key employees in training sessions when you can least afford it. Plus, your top-level leadership, the ones who can continually not make it to training, can learn when it's convenient for them. This ensures that everyone in your organization has the same knowledge, not just your lower level management. Whether your employee is 1,200 miles away or 12 steps down the hallway, they will have the same quality training available to them. How else can you make sure that your entire workforce is on the same page, at the same time, and with the same training? Now, here's your complimentary eZine entitled When Enough is Enough, How to Leave Your Boss and Your Team Without Burning Your Bridges.
Each morning, the alarm seems to go off all too soon. You dread an on-time commute. You haven't been at work even 15 minutes and you're already checking the clock, hoping for quitting time. There comes a time in our careers when we simply feel disengaged from our current work. We're no longer satisfied or interested in what we do. We don't feel challenged or excited anymore. If this describes you, chances are good that you've already given some thought to finding a new job. It might be a career change or simply moving to a different department within the same company. This can be a very positive change, but bear in mind that the decision is often an emotional one. The sudden departure might leave your coworkers and boss feeling abandoned. You yourself might come to regret the decision a few weeks later, realizing that all you really needed was some time away from your current work. If you're feeling desperate, it's easy to make mistakes that you might regret later, so it's important to approach the transition between jobs calmly and rationally. In this eZine, we'll outline some of the things you can do to incite change in your professional life without leaving behind any bad feelings or having regrets. The easiest way to initiate a job change is to move to a different position within the same company. If you are satisfied with the workplace, but it's just your particular job duties that are getting you down, then you might want to consider this option before trying anything more drastic. This method of changing jobs has many benefits. Most likely, you'll be able to keep your same benefits, such as insurance coverage and retirement funding, without any interruptions. You already have an idea of what the company's culture and atmosphere is like. If you're pleased with the atmosphere of your company already, then this will make the transition even less stressful. So, what's the best way to negotiate a change to a new position in the company? First, get to know the different departments that make up your organization. Find out what they do and who leads them. Identify an area that you're personally interested in. Make up a portfolio of achievements that demonstrates how the company would benefit from approving your change of position. Armed with this information, your Human Resources Department can keep you advised as to when an opening might appear in your chosen department. In the meantime, network and get the word out about what you want. Get to know the employees in the department as well as the managers so that when you do make the change, it'll be as smooth as possible. You'll be able to make a good first impression by getting right down to work without having to settle in. Ideally, let your current boss know that you won't leave them hanging. Give them time to find a replacement for you, and your company will really appreciate this. Sometimes, however, the change you desire will be more sweeping and decisive. Perhaps it's not just your job functions, but it's your entire organization that you've grown dissatisfied with. If this is the case, you'll have to undertake the more difficult path of finding new employment outside the company. The first thing to do is ask yourself whether it's a job change you desire or a career change. In many cases, this is all that's needed to renew your interest in your field of work. This type of move has benefits because you'll be able to use your experience and skills to get a higher position, maybe even one that pays more than your former position. In the case of career change, you'll need to assess what new qualifications are needed. This transition can be made easier by choosing a career that's different but requires many of the same skills as the old one. For example, the knowledge gained from years working as an automotive technician might have prepared you for becoming an auto parts salesman, even though the nature of the job is drastically different. Whatever the case, you'll probably face a tricky situation. How to look for a new job without upsetting your current employer. Since an old boss who thinks highly of you can be one of the greatest assets in securing a new job, you don't want to tactlessly burn your bridges. There are a few basic steps you can take to ensure that this process goes smoothly for everyone involved. Resist the temptation to quit your present job immediately. It's generally best to hold on to a job until you've already got the new one lined up and have a formal written offer. Anything could happen at the last minute. If you're relying on your paycheck in order to pay the mortgage or to buy food, you could quickly find yourself in a dire situation. In addition, a sudden departure will leave your former employers with the sense that you're unreliable. If you can't tell them where you're going, they'll think you didn't communicate well with them or that you're hiding something. Don't risk it. Be familiar with your organization's resignation policies. With most companies, there is a set amount of time in which you must give the company notice of your resignation. Each position is different, but the general rule is to make sure they have ample time to find a replacement for you. Depending on your company's culture, you can inform them either in writing or in person, whichever you think would yield the best results. It's important to make your decision known to the company as soon as you're able to. The more time your superiors have to acclimatize themselves to the idea, the more accepting they'll ultimately be. The idea here is to keep everything by the book so that you avoid the bad feelings that might be associated with you leaving. If your boss takes your resignation personally or feels that he or she is being abandoned and betrayed, your transition to the new job could become very messy. In certain instances, they could stop it altogether by giving you an unfavorable review when the new company calls for a reference. For this reason, it's very important to handle everything by the guidelines and be upfront as early as possible. Changing jobs is a decision that most people put off for too long. So long that it frequently takes on an air of urgency that leads to mistakes being made that can damage one's career and professional relationships. On the other hand, this can be one of the most rewarding decisions you'll ever make. The difference comes down to how you approach the decision and the degree of calmness and professionalism with which you execute it. By following the tips in this eZine, you'll be doing all that you can to ensure your move to a new job is a beneficial change for everybody involved, especially yourself.
I hope that you found today's program insightful. Feel free to forward this link to colleagues or others who might enjoy these mini sessions. For more information on the wide range of seminars we have to offer, call our office at 727-360-0111. Contact one of our representatives or click the link to our demo to view many of our management and leadership offerings.